Welcome back to another episode of Medtech Snapshot. I'm excited to be on the line today with a good friend of mine, Glen Rabito, COO of Nidus Biomedical. In the event Nidus is new to you, they're located in Irvine, California. They're a medical device incubator for interventional cardiology devices. So, Glen, welcome.
Thanks, Travis. Good to see you.
Good to see you. All right, so Glen, today what we're chatting about is I'm curious to get your perspective on how do you move a product through the early stages of the development cycle and do that ensuring you're actually moving things forward and not getting stuck?
Having worked with young engineers throughout my career, having been a young engineer at one point in my career, it seems like a very simple question, a simple thing to do, but it's tricky when you're into the weeds. So for me, there's really 5 things that are key in order to keep things moving. One is making sure you have a clear product definition, right? We need a vision, we need a goal, we understand what we need to build in order to get there. The second thing is clear understanding of what those technical and clinical risks are. If we don't understand what those big risks are, we're going to get into the weeds and trying to design something that's really not important at this early stage. And so just identify the top 3 risks and let's go tackle those things. The third thing is let's figure out a plan to de-risk those things. So you might identify the risk, what is the big risk, but how are you going to test that? If you don't have a clear outcome to testing that, then there's no point in trying to attempt to do that. And then the fourth thing, and probably the most fun thing out of this whole process, is try, fail, try again, learn hopefully a little bit or a lot of it, and then try it again. Yeah. And so then the fifth thing, and a lot of people don't do this, but I think it's important to identify really good clinical physician partners early on. And so you can go back in the lab, design something that you think is going to work, and then you present it to a physician and they say, what is that? There's no way I'm going to put that into a patient. That's not going to help anybody. So make sure you're in tune with your physicians to make sure that you're designing something that's actually applicable.
So why do you think people wait to establish that kind of relationship and or even put their idea or product in front of a clinician, physician?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, unfortunately, especially in larger corporations, it's kind of how it's set up, right? Top-down approach, a manager might approach you with a problem, say, hey, I think this widget needs to do X, Y, and Z. And the engineer is incredibly excited to go solve those problems. They get back in the lab, they bring it back. And then 2 months later, they bring it back to the physician. And that same kind of cascade of unfortunate events starts to play out. And so if there's anything you can do to get your team in front of the actual physicians that are going to be using this product, it's definitely a huge win up front.